Sup guys, the main man here. I hope you're all doing good. So I just received a PM on YouTube regarding the arcade stick versus pad issue. I get these quite a lot, I have to say. So I guess it's for the best if I just make a video about the issue, so that I can point people to a single vid instead of answering the same question all over and over again. Yeah, I'm gonna start by reading the PM. Hi, the main man. I wanted to ask you something about stick versus pad. I begin by saying that I've been playing Tekken Tag Tournament 2 for 6 months on a PS3 pad and have become quite comfortable with the infamous AVGF. And obviously, after watching all of your videos, now the thing is, after about 30 minutes of playing, my left thumb hurts a lot. Consequently, I'm no longer able to do the AVGF consistently. So I'm thinking of passing to the stick, but I still can't make a decision. What would you advise me to do? Um, I do remember myself. I mean, I haven't played. I do play pads sometimes, but it's been years since I played regularly on a pad. I think it was like 5 6 years ago when I made the transition to stick, and I do remember getting blisters on my left thumb from practicing the EVGF for hours. So yeah, if your thumb starts hurting, you should probably switch to a stick because you won't have any such issues with a stick. And I do think that the stick is the way to go for the Mishimas. And I do think also that movement is more natural on a stick, but it's hard to say because you see a lot of really solid players with really good movement on pads as well. So I'm still of the opinion that you can't say anything definitively. I mean, it's just a matter of personal preference in the end. But to me, a stick really helped, and I've got pretty decent execution. So yeah, I play on a stick. So if you like the combos I do and that stuff, you should probably start thinking about getting a stick. I think it's pretty safe to say that to take the Mishimas to their highest level, a stick is almost required. But yeah, so that was me answering this PM. Hopefully, you got some valuable insight from my short answer there. And usually, when I make my tutorial videos, I write a script, and I wrote a script for this vid, arcade stick or regular controller. So yeah, no more spontaneous talking. I'm going to read the script now, and I will probably touch upon stuff I have already talked about a bit the last minute. But yeah, hopefully some good information here. So, arcade stick or regular controller? What is the optimal way to play fighting games? Is it with a pad or is it a stick? I guess it's about time I dedicate a vid to this issue. During the 6 years I've been active as a Tekken video creator, this is the question people have asked me the most. Should I upgrade to a stick? Can I wave dash an AVGF like you if I get the same stick? What one must understand first of all is that there are no shortcuts. Playing with an arcade stick does not guarantee that you will be very successful with the Mishimas or any character. Like with everything else, those who excel are those who put in the hours. I have good execution, and guess what? It comes from years and years of practice. This is the second Kazuya combo exhibition. I made this video just over 6 years ago. Time does fly. Have you even played Tekken for that long? The level of execution in this video is respectable, so one can understand that 6 years later I should have reached a rather good level. What I'm trying to say is that I'm a dinosaur. Every time you compare yourself to me, you compare yourself with a person who has probably played a lot more than you have. I taught myself to EVGF in Tekken 4 on a pad when the move was introduced to Kazuya. I learned how to wave dash in Tekken 5, also on a pad, actually. The VGF and wave dash won't come to you before you start implementing them in versus mode. So stop limiting yourself to only doing them in practice mode. You have to put them into your game as quickly as possible, because that's where you really nail them. VVGF is so much more than just doing it from standing. Wave dash, sidestep, backdash, crouch cancel, all these can be followed with a quick electric, and a proper Mishima player is comfortable mixing VVGF with all sorts of movement. People like to claim that they mastered the AVGF in just a month or a couple of weeks, and sure, after a few weeks you will probably have a decent success rate and consistency with a standing AVGF, but in no way will you be able to combine solid movement with the AVGF. This is something experienced Mishima players do, and it takes years, not months, to master. There's a huge difference between intermediate Mishima players and advanced. So what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't get ahead of yourself. Becoming good at something requires patience. One could even say talent. Some people adapt and pick things up quicker than others. Intelligence, I guess you could say. If you really want something and have the willpower, you will reach your goal eventually. It's all about will. Those who reach high skill level are those who strive for perfection. Obviously, a lot of people will find the thought of spending a lot of time on a fighting game extremely nerdy and unproductive, but it's quite the opposite for me. The fun I have with Tekken is enough of a motivation to keep evolving my skill and knowledge. Perhaps you have even picked up that I'm very serious about Tekken while watching my guides. The Mishimas especially represent what I find so fascinating about Tekken: the strategy, the technique, and the commitment. To me, it has always been like digital chess. In the end, it's just irrelevant what you are playing with, as we humans can quickly adapt to anything. Somewhere out there is bound to be a guy without arms playing with his feet, and you know people are going to be mighty impressed with it. But is it really that impressive? Sure, it's very unorthodox and special, but if you put in the time and practice, you will be able to do it as well. He was just forced into it because he had no choice. There are great players on pad, and there are great players on sticks. Personal preference is the rule. There is no universal favorable option. What you can do though is to give the different options a try. If you play pad, try playing stick, and vice versa. If you know that stick is your way, try both the Korean bat and the Japanese ball type. There's quite a difference. The ball, due to its size, is more sensitive in my opinion, and less movement is required to make inputs. Instead of using your whole wrist all the time, a lot is done with just moving the fingers ever so slightly. It just instantly clicked with me. The crouch dash motion seemed slightly faster among others, but this is my experience. I did well on a pad the 10 years I played with them. I followed that with 2 years with Korean sticks and eventually switched over to Japanese ball after having tried it out for just a couple of minutes. But man, was it hard making the switch. Just switching stick type was like starting over on step 1. I do remember as well how hard it was to go from pad to stick. It took me months to feel comfortable with a stick. I made the switch because people had told me that a stick is good to have if you want to take the Mishimas to their peak, which one could argue. But I have since then seen people perform pretty much just as well on pads. So the argument I made earlier I feel still stands. It's up to the individual and the amount of time you spend training. So that's the script I wrote, but I do feel like I want to include one final point, and that's the fact that the buttons on arcade stick are so much smoother and work so much better than the buttons on a pad. I mean, just playing like Brian and trying to do taunts on a pad is incredibly annoying, but it just feels so natural on an arcade stick where you have full control all the time of which inputs you do. So that's one argument, one point that is in very much favor of the arcade stick. So yeah, I hope that cleared some stuff up for you guys. Anyway, take care.